Karizmatik.
The 5 psychological principles concerning attraction and relationship dynamics, including the role of vulnerability, strategic criticism, and boundary setting. We've got a fascinating deep dive today. You handed us a stack of sources that really get into these specific psychological levers.
The bugs, as the material sometimes calls them.
Right, the bugs that are said to influence attraction dynamics. It's sort of a shortcut to understanding these really complex interpersonal rules.
That's right. Our mission today is to break down these 5 core principles. And we're not just going to say what they are. We really want to focus on why the sources claim they actually work.
Because some of these are pretty high-stakes maneuvers.
They really are. So understanding the psychology behind them is absolutely key for you.
Hello, everyone.
Warm greetings to you all.
We're really happy to be back with another deep dive.
At Karizmatik, we truly work around the clock to create content that's useful for you.
More than 50 people contribute with care and precision across our network of channels, so you can have the best possible experience.
If you're enjoying this, please share the show with others.
That small action helps the show reach more people and gives us the energy to keep going better and stronger.
Shall we begin?
Let's crush it.
So we've grouped these 5 principles into a few major themes. Let's start with self-acceptance and how what you project internally affects attraction.
Okay, let's unpack the first one, the contradictory personality. The source says a man needs to show 2 opposing sides, like being kind but also having a dark side. Why is that?
Well, the material argues that pure 100% strength it rings false. People can spot it from a mile away.
It's unrealistic.
Exactly. The source actually uses this great analogy of Superman's early design. At first, he was just this perfect, godlike figure, no weaknesses.
And he was boring. I remember that. They had to give him kryptonite.
They had to give him a flaw, a vulnerability, and that's what made him relatable, what made him human.
So pure power is actually a disadvantage.
It is. You forfeit what Robert Greene calls a crucial advantage, which is vulnerability. It's the chance for someone else to feel, well, protective.
Oh, this is the koala analogy from the source. Why we find baby pandas so appealing.
Yes. It's not just that they're cute, it's that they seem vulnerable. They trigger that instinct to care, to protect. And the source argues that women in particular have this powerful, nurturing instinct.
So if you act completely invulnerable, you're basically blocking that connection.
You're denying access to a core psychological lever, and that dark side isn't about being evil. It's about having boundaries, having a core set of principles you won't compromise.
So your kindness has an edge. It has value because it's not limitless.
Exactly. Women are, according to the source, very quick to spot the insecurity behind someone trying way too hard to seem perfect.
Okay, that sets a really complex stage. Now we're moving from that idea of invited care to something much more contentious.
Yeah, the creation of intentional conflict.
This takes us to the second pillar, the dangerous tool of jealousy exploitation. And I want to stress, the source itself calls this a filthy game.
The dirtiest game is the exact phrase.
Yeah.
We're just reporting what the material says. The warnings around this are very, very stark.
So what's the mechanism here? How does it supposedly work?
It's all about using subtle contradiction to create mental conflict in your partner. The goal is aggressive, but simple. Make her spend as much time as possible thinking about you.
And how would someone do that? The example they gave was pretty chilling.
It was. It said, if your partner is a brunette, you make a subtle, offhand compliment about how great a specific blonde woman looks. It's just vague enough to create this loop of doubt and comparison in her mind.
You're literally manufacturing insecurity just to occupy her thoughts.
That's the mechanism. That captured mental real estate, that time she spends worrying. The source claims it can accelerate the process of falling in love, but it's built on a foundation of pure control.
And the source is very clear about who tends to use a tactic like this.
Oh, yes. It says, this is typically the tool of low-conscience individuals, maybe even narcissists. It works by exploiting pre-existing vulnerabilities, low self-esteem, attachment issues. It's toxic from the start.
That leads us right into the third principle, strategic criticism, which also creates conflict, but I guess in a less overtly malicious way.
Theoretically, yes.
Most guys are terrified of criticizing a woman.
Yeah.
But the source claims that actually thoughtful criticism can be seen as a sign of courage.
Because it's so rare. Most men will avoid that conflict at all costs. So the one who's not afraid to give measured pushback, he stands out. He seems to have more self-respect.
But how do you know if you're being courageous or just being a jerk? That seems like a really fine line.
It is. And the answer is in the psychology. It connects to Robert Cialdini's scarcity principle.
Which is that we value things that are rare.
Exactly. So if your praise is constant, if you're always complimenting her, the words become cheap. They're common.
They lose their meaning.
But when criticism is rare and it's thoughtful, the compliments that follow feel incredibly valuable. The source says they stick to your soul.
That's the red knife technique they mention.
Right. A sharp, rare tool. But you have to be disciplined. The source gives two critical rules. First, don't overdo it, keep it scarce. And second, the criticism must never, ever be demeaning.
It's about the action, not the person.
Yes. The examples were things like, your previous outfit looked better, or that photo didn't do you justice, you can do better. It's specific. It leaves her self-worth completely intact. Thanks for staying with us up to this point. If it's been helpful, send it right now to one person. Your single share really motivates our team.
So now we're circling back to self-acceptance for the fourth pillar. Sharing weaknesses to build empathy. This feels like the opposite of everything men are usually taught.
It's totally counterintuitive, right? The idea is to reveal your flaws proactively before she has a chance to discover them on her own.
Okay, and what's the supposed impact of doing that?
There are two things. First, it shows massive confidence. If you just own a flaw like, say, a stutter, you're showing radical self-acceptance.
You're getting ahead of it. You take the power away from any potential judgment.
And you're signaling that her opinion won't break you. The source says women find that kind of self-assuredness perfect.
And what's the second, maybe deeper effect?
It's about empathy. The source uses the Persian term hemdali. It's this deep, shared emotional connection.
Okay.
And it links to that core female desire to nurture we talked about earlier. When you offer a genuine, non-toxic vulnerability, it's very hard for her to resist that feeling of wanting to care.
It's giving her a way in, a way to connect and build that bond.
Yes, but, and this is a huge but, you have to avoid the destructive side. This isn't about playing the victim to attract a savior.
Not pity strategy.
That's it. That is absolutely diminishing. The only right way is to provide small, appropriate chances for her to care, like, letting her bring you medicine when you're sick. It strengthens the bond without sacrificing your own power.
Which brings us to our fifth and final principle, which is all about self-respect, setting and enforcing boundaries. The source calls this one of the most attractive things a man can do.
Because boundaries are basically self-respect made visible. They show you have a code. When you say, I don't like swearing, or my mornings are for the gym, you're defining who you are.
And the key part is the enforcement.
That is everything. If a woman knowingly crosses a boundary you've set, the source says you must be willing to withdraw, to disengage.
And the logic there is just, it's brutal. If you don't respect your own rules, why on earth would she trust you to respect hers?
Exactly. Tolerating it just kills attraction because it signals you aren't reliable. A man who defends his own structure is a man who seems capable of defending the relationship itself.
And the source even gives a tactic for this, to avoid that big emotional alpha reaction.
Right. It's not about yelling. It's about calm withdrawal. Think of the airplane analogy they use.
Oh, yeah.
A conflict is like a plane in the air. You can let it land on your runway and then have a big fight about it. Or you can just deny it permission to land in the first place by withdrawing your attention. It's about non-emotional enforcement.
So if we pull all of this together for everyone listening, what are the 5 big takeaways?
Okay, to synthesize it for you. First, ambiguity creates attraction. You need that contrast in your personality. Second, jealousy is a dangerous, manipulative tool for control.
Okay.
Third, criticism, when it's rare and measured, can be a surprisingly bold and attractive move. Fourth, sharing your weaknesses the right way is a powerful tool for building empathy.
And the last one is the foundation.
It really is. Fifth, a lack of boundaries is like a leaky tank. It just drains the life from the relationship. Setting and enforcing them is a non-negotiable part of self-respect and therefore attraction.
And I think the value of this for you, the listener, is just getting this direct, actionable knowledge about what's happening under the surface. We've tried to give a non-judgmental look at this material you sent us, from the strategic to the deeply personal.
So what's the final thought here? I think if you step back, the single idea that connects all of these bugs is a deep commitment to self-respect. So the question the source leaves you with is this. If you simply stop being indifferent to your own boundaries, how might that change your attraction dynamics with everyone, not just a romantic partner?
Thanks for being with us to the end. If it helped, hit it too. Like, leave a short comment, and share it with someone who'd enjoy it. Every share helps more people find us. And don't forget to stay subscribed to Karizmatik. The best is yet to come. See you in the next deep dive. Stay charismatic.
Karizmatik.